Actually have a book launch at a startup Saturday session. And for that, I would invite for those who have already met many people who have not been formally introduced. Let me invite this is our stage. So on stage, Prati girl, she is a founder for an interesting initiative. This is the but on the next level now, she has a startup called Momo. Very interesting, right? You want to go through that and she recently probably doing something. How looking at this, yeah, during the conversation,
she realized that we both of us have alumni from the same college. I also did my MBA from Cambridge, Chennai. So like you were saying, I started Momo college itself.
Okay.
So like 2010.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, so we were talking to her, and obviously I'm not getting globally good because we'll be having sort of a panel discussion, and we will do the theme, and we can give you questions and we sort of talk to each other. And for the occasion, she already comes prepared. So we're going to have sort of a small. This is the first difficult part of it. So the cameraman, nobody's called Jesus. This is incidentally the second book that she has written. Her first book was titled Superwoman, which we have always. So, in the forthcoming sessions, I will again give back to Superwoman. I have already given to some founders who are entrepreneurs in the ecosystem. And this is related to supercars. As we were discussing, she doesn't look by the run-of-the-mill idea of having a great photo or something. It's more or less some lovely kind of tools or tools, what should I say? Right, for the first book to this one, and probably for the rest of the books that I'm going to remain here. So, no great fancy work, and just little thing that attracts you. But interestingly, the stories of the first one again, like I said, women founders in the ecosystem, which you can see around the book, and this is related to super couples. So, the couples who are couples not only in real life but also in the startup ecosystem. So, this here has a good life which is the co-founder in the startup. So, I need to I will raise the first about the journey of the startup and all other things. Yeah, so before we actually get on to the official panel discussion that we would like to, I would just like her to spell out what all Momo is about, what does she do, what are the offerings to the venture. How did she really think of the idea? Like she just told me that was in college, so start once upon a time. I was a
So I'm not really so to start with, I will start with one of my failures. So Momo was my second week. And I was like, while I was like 8 years back, when I just started my official job as a software engineer. That's why I said I come from IT background and started my official job. And then, so as like a usual path goes by, computer science engineer, and probably you want to go for an MBA. So in the meanwhile, after like 1 month job, I just got to start a magazine that can actually tell you that life is just, there is much more beyond IIMs. If you do not get to IIMs, you still can apply to other colleges as well. So there I started managing minds, and there I realized that one of the most important failure reason of failure was I did not have that kind of vision because I think I was very mature at that time and I did not have the right set of people who could actually help me or guide me. I think that lack of guidance, and that's why when I saw this topic that what is the importance of having an A team is really, it plays a very important role to get your starting. This is not about starting it up, this is not about getting an idea, but I think it's more about execution with the right set of team who are actually aligned with you. So then I just tried to sustain it for around 6 months. And then post that I continued my job and then when I went for an MBA at Greece. It's still there I started to, I have a lot of passion of traveling, right? So I'm like a big time traveler and I've been exploring unexplored parts of India with my sister from like 9 to 10 years almost now. And we also run a blog as well, so in Kumokuro.com we run a blog as well and it's a part of where we organize corporate team events. It's way back then. We started it and I still remember those days where I used to, my friends used to completing the assignments and I'm like looking for any lead, I'm looking for the leads and I'm kind of making those leads to get them converted and organizing them because sitting in Chennai and organizing a tour for a group of people in Delhi. So this is how I started and I think I still feel a lot of success. The reason of its success is primarily the college. Because college gave me a lot of good platform to in networking. I think professors really helped me to grow, to mentor me. I'm sure you must be very Sitapan Panda. Yes, so he really helped me out and made support marketing gigs and making Google. So that response really helps, right? And I think while you are starting something in college, it makes you feel you're more likely to free, right? So you can experiment here and there and then you can take this journey forward. So that 1 year really helped me to grow a little bit, and then post that so at Kumokuro we primarily organize corporate events. Plus, we also, while saying corporate events, it's just not about the offsites. If someone comes and tells us that we wanted it to our lunch, dinner, etc. for a client, we can help you with that as well. Our universities primarily, whatever places we suggest you, we personally visited there. So we have a determined list from which we can help you with, and we do not give you the packages. We don't have the fixed package allocation. You give every trip, anything that you organize, it is a curated one. So you tell us that the people who are going to offsite, they have this age group, like 30-35 years old, and they want a luxury travel, and this is our budget. We try to plan something within that budget. So these are few niche offerings that we get. Recently, last year we also expanded to women solo travel and most of the clients is from abroad. Even so, the women who really love traveling alone and alone. And they are the universities in the entire user journey. We make sure that they have a lot of impact of the females. So, for example, we'll help them with the female driver, we'll help them with the female guides, we'll help them with. So, whatever interactions, we wanted to minimize the interaction to avoid those kind of mishaps, right? This is what Kumokuro is all about. Besides, there are small niche things that we, doing. Recently, we also partnered with various tourism boards because we have a lot of content on our on the blog. So we partnered with MP Tourism, we partnered with Karnataka Tourism and Rajasthan Tourism. This Wild Tourism recently came on board. So that it was to help exploring their properties and then exploring that part of their culture in a different way, right? So I remember those days when I used to stay with tribals so that I can actually write their story. And the very incident, this very interesting incident, I really have to put there. So I stayed with a tribe and I'm a pure vegetarian and I ate some chutney, they gave it to me and I had it. And later I said, it's really tasty. What is it? They said, it's an ant chutney, red ant chutney. So these things keep happening. I think that these kind of small experiments that I keep doing and then find that's what helps it to grow. And that's the kind of stories I can come up with. So which actually attracts a lot of traffic on the website also. So anyone who really wants to travel, explore unexplored part of India, people really come to our site. And last year we also got an award from MP Tourism as their best social media partner as well.
I saw that and liked the photo on Facebook, so I can watch on that. I just realized the power of women because almost like unconsciously I was counting out the number of words that he spoke, and that almost like surpassed the number of words that I've been speaking in bits and pieces over the last hour. So, for quite an introduction. And how I want to know what kind of challenge. Like you mentioned some kind of stories where you actually go and curate those places before you suggest. So it's more even better than Zomato, where they depend on user reviews. I can't say much more against Zomato because I've got friends, the CEOs and all. I do write reviews, but this is like a more curated kind of thing. It's like the kind of thing wherein people, e-commerce sites, when they send out, okay, we've got the new kurtis and down and shoes and this, the Indian customers, I want to feel it and then I buy it. So, is this like what prompted you to actually visit those places, prepare, curate, and then?
And also, I think it's the other way around. So, in fact, I moved to a cave when I was traveling to Pachmani just for my trip as well. And then I said that, okay, so I'm staying in this hotel. Why don't I take his contact details and later go back, and anyone who would ask me about how was the Pachmani trip and where I should I would recommend that. So, there those interactions happened, and that's how it actually started. So it was not that, and then we thought that this would be so in travel is basically a really highly unorganized space. If you see someone is doing an e-commerce thing, so there's nothing that someone will come and okay, we wanted to do into corporate thing outings. People will do corporate team outings, but they'll say that we just do websites. Okay, so no one will say that okay, we organize it today, we do our lunch for investment. So this is.
It was more like a hobby turned profession.
It was truly a hobby.
Yeah.
Travel would take more.
This sounds we live in the Indian ecosystem, so the country's first food delivery entry and exit, which got multi-billion-dollar valuation, and they made $6 million after that. Anybody heard of Tasty Khana, which got taken over for Pandai? So we know in the Indian ecosystem that's like the country's first successful entry and exit. So familiar with Sachin's story. So I can he used to order meals for parties in his office, and at the end of the day, or at the end of some weeks, he used to actually have an Excel sheet full of all the hotels and the restaurants in the city, and which menu and what rates, and so anything happening, they would just pick up and call him or ping him to chat. Sachin has party at So that is how he collaborated. I mean, he just collated all the information. In one mind, he said, "Fine, yeah, I'm just probably doing this for free." And there seems to be a lot of pain areas and a lot of lacuna in terms of restaurants, hotels don't even deliver. You have to actually go there and take it back. So why not build a thing around it? So more towards that kind of story. I see you nodding your head when you said we are bootstrapped, and so you have gone to the next level where you have now started picking up awards, getting associated with various states for their tourism packages, and also congratulations on getting a call from Israel. So you're now trying to grow global. So how do you plan to take this forward?
I would like to, currently as a team, we would like to expand its portfolio. For example, last year we planned it, expanded in women's solo travel. Maybe next, in fact, to start with, before women's solo travel, we wanted to expand it to school trips actually. Because I've seen a lot of times that, especially global schools, right? So they have this, you take the students out for various trips, and we wanted to organize it. And we had already in conversation with tourism boards, wherein we organize their cultures, Ministry of Culture, we are already in conversation with them, where we are asking them that give us certain packages, and we say that okay, in Delhi, this is a one-day trip or two-day trip, so that our generation, coming generation can understand the legacy behind the various monuments and architecture and other rich Indian culture. So that should be, we would like to focus more on the product, in expanding the product.
I'm always used to the PPTs being sent by guys, either at the idea stage or later, or for possible funding. Most of the time, they send the PPT for funding only. But then we usually have a sort of business plan out just before that. So the first slide is, so this is the market potential. So have you calculated the market potential of travel in India?
So yes, when you speak it is, so yes, while I was in breaking, there were several peaceful competitions where I actually validated my idea in this form, right? So otherwise, I mean, so that whole deep plan thing, going through all this, so I did this deep plan to various colleges and I won 2 prizes as well. And I won it in SIMC as well. Right, so there this actually helped to validate my idea, yes, this was a succeed.
Talk about getting validated and getting paid too. So, nice combination. Now let's come to something related to the teams. Because it's a different thing when you start alone or for a particular passion or convert a hobby into a profession. But then, over a period of time, if you have to organize more of those, you require a team. So, how did you go and go to building up your team? Are they like regular employees?
So when I started, I think it was purely a one-man army kind of thing. And for 2 years almost, it was a kind of a one-woman army. However, we had a lot of freelancer folks who were helping me out because I was purely based and so I get my model for hiring for the interns. We reached out to, as we said, right? So we reached out to several colleges for sales and everything. We reached out to various nearby MBA colleges like Webtech, etc. Wherein we reached out to them and said, okay, we wanted people who can do a business development for us. And for marketing, so during the stage, we ensure that what kind of people we actually need, what is the need, right? I did not hire like marketing folk and then targeted our high salary package folks at one time. So I know that I still remember those days when I started growing up, the people used to ask like, okay, if we, especially these various colleges, whether we used to go for their hiring, he said, who is your HR manager? He was a PPT. I used to dig that down on my own. I used to read it, Google it, find a template, speak to few of my friends. Are these things okay or not? In fact, I still remember I pulled out one of my past offer letter to see that what exactly the things I need to maintain in my, because I wanted to that advantage of having when I was really I really like people to do a bootstrapping thing. The reason is because it opens your mind and makes you more creative to find a ways to save money, and so that you can sustain. So then, I think in the last 1.5 years, we have grown full-time team folks who are helping me out in and out of the system of content creation. But yes, having said that, still we are working remotely, and I really want to save a lot of money, especially staying in Delhi on having a proper office. So we are working on remote technologies really helping as well.
You are based here in Delhi?
I'm based in Delhi.
She was actually flown from Delhi this morning before part of the season, and she wanted to interest of the team that we were doing. I would try to put across the same question to Gurmeet. So, when you're bootstrapped, I gave a lecture last time on COB. The lean startup thing is catching on right now. People have begun to realize okay, lean startup is a good concept. So in our tech space, it's very challenging because you have people who are like well paid by all the IT majors, and how do you recruit all those guys? How do you attract talent? So how did you build up your team? What kind of incentives did you give them? Or in startups or in startup firms, what was your pitch to them?
So whenever we talk to such people, at least what I say these days. And I've been very upfront during the interview as well. When it's not an interview, when it's more of a match finding, whether you fit for us, I fit for you, right? It's more about matching those aspirations, right? When it comes to not very senior level guys, but then when I'm talking about, let's say, a 3 to 5 year experience there, because at times what happens is in a startup world, you're not defined by a certain set of boundaries that okay, this is the only piece you will be required to do. There are areas and opportunities where you may have to step out of your comfort zone and pick up something else. So for example, when we started, we did pretty much on our own, right? So we doubled up as office boy, we doubled up as everything, whatever you need, right? Everything will do. But then gradually during the journey, you got to have such people who are okay to do that as well for you. I'm not saying that a developer would act as an HR guy as well, but then a developer, a Java developer, if there's a need to, let's say, pick up a UI piece or IntelliJ, he should be okay to do that as well. He should be flexible with picking up those things. If not for that flexibility, then it becomes very difficult to sustain a startup, right? You cannot have specialists in each of those areas. You need all-rounders in the initial. But as you grow, you definitely need to have that stability, have that those specialists, because there are two different things. I can do some things with an all-rounder, right? But then I need a opener with definite batting skills. I definitely need Virat Kohli for that, right? I cannot do it with Ravindra. But both of them are equally important to the team.
For some point, like we observed in the recent T20s, if they get out that one, then usually the older guys, okay, UV and Dhoni to finish off the job.
So to answer probably your question around how do you retain, right? Work is something which has been keeping people excited. There are guys who have left us for some reason. Some of those guys have joined us back only because of the quality of work we have, the kind of culture we are trying to establish at baseline. We have opened up with respect to ESOPs. We have offered ESOPs as well, but that's an evolution. So we're trying to continuously work on what pieces will work. And trust me, every stage of the journey, there are different things which works out. So recently, yesterday we met Manish again, and he opened our eyes and said, "Okay, guys, whatever you did in the last year, probably not going to work this year. You have to think differently this year." So things which worked last year will definitely not work for us this year. So that's a continuous journey. ESOPs is something which did work for us at some moment. Probably will have to redefine. I've not thought about that. That is something change we have to definitely get into. Hiring right people at the right team to ensure that your existing guys are not burned out. Right, in the startup world, usually that happens that okay, people are all around us getting into all the things. You need to make sure that people don't get burned out, and specifically because you don't have right people at the right. So one of the interesting challenges for us was after that initial 3 years we figured out that okay, among the founders we are around more than 10 years experience. Suddenly the team is only around 3 to 4 years of experience because they started working with us, they have been with us. So there was a wide gap when it came to experience level between 3 to 10. And that was why I'm saying that gap because there were certain elements which we were missing with respect to putting certain governance around how we run things. The guys who were with us, technically they were awesome. Customer will come back and say that, okay guys, you're technically awesome guys, but when it comes to governance, you probably are even pathetic. Right? We took that feedback seriously from internal teams, from external. We reached out to wherever we can. So trust me, I've posted n number of job openings. The last 9 years, I would post out on the POCC group, right? Wherever possible, wherever I'm getting right guys, we'll definitely engage over a conversation, take things forward. So as of now, I think we have 5-6 senior guys who joined us in the last year and a half. And fortunately for us, one of the founders joined us. Right, so it was a big decision for that as well because both partners sailing on the same boat and the risky boat is difficult decision, but fortunately for us that happened. So there is a lot of internal referencing, talking to people, finding those people who are risk takers. For example, our director sales now is also a sweat equity holder in our organization. He joined from Cognizant. So he was getting the West India sales for Cognizant. he joined us as a head of sales and just having him on board, we learned the art of selling. We were doing, the tech guys were selling things differently. He taught in the art and science of sales and how to be. And after him having on board, I think it changed the way we sell.
Definitely having seniors on board or guys from the industry helps. So years back when Mahesh actually resigned as CEO of Starbucks, it was like, really? And then I found out a couple of other friends who had done the same. They were having Manafi India and the others, and they just decided to jump ship. They had some purpose to possibly go along. They can always return back to the industry. But then that is the decision that has to be supported by your friends and family. So that sort of kind of support is. I know this for a fact because Mahesh, he's now running a couple of startups apart from guiding others also. So I compared his first book, which was released, and Crossword. By the way, I do compare book launch events for various authors. That is my part-time job, not a job. Again, it's a voluntary kind of service. I'm doing so well here again. I love to talk to people who try to do something different. Like, yeah. So that ways you become answer of me at gold medals and not other things. So probably the DNA kicking in. Yeah. So right. He works closely with SSCs and I've been doing services for a year, so I've interacted with him closely. And he's always there to guide me. He's got a lot of experience from various companies, Moses, Apple. So when I told him I used to work with Apple guys, he was like, oh, my first job was with Apple guys. You know the first Mac that came out, wow, 30 years ago. So that's the kind of trend that I'm seeing in startups, that they're willing to get people on board from the industry who have got tons of experience so that they can guide them in the proper way. Somebody from finance, somebody from marketing, somebody from the tech background. My question to you would be, now you have tied up with various state associations. Are you trying to bring in people as co-founders now, like a one-woman army, a bus again? I need to get some more partners, or kind of a tie-up with the associations, because going global is not that easy. So how do you plan to do it?
Honestly speaking, we're not diving into the same, but yes, at least for coming 2 to 3 years and more, that this is going to be, we might expand the team size, right? Because and we might raise right now, for these days we still have those freshers and interns, and we might have those people like treat letters as well on board, which can actually streamline the teams, right? So this is a content team. This is a business team, like 2 people working under one senior person who is guiding. This is how they get actually expert, not exactly guiding, but we are planning to move in that model. However, whatever association that we are doing right now, they're primarily so we still going to go ahead and see how they actually pan out. This is one is right, this is number. So we are really going to see that how other associations pan out. But advisory would be one of the ways it could be there, but not given a thought.
So again, the same question. She's probably so inspired she forgot to take photos when we were speaking.
I had a question for you both. What keeps you going? Because we only see the good part of the startups and how we have grown up over the years, but from within you have faced a lot of things besides the good things. So how is that which keeps going for you? The revenue generation or the thing which comes from inside, like, I need to stick to this and make it happen. What keeps you going?
So I think it is more about the repeat customers, repeat clients that keeps me going. I think after a very bad day also, in the night I see one message from one of the team that has gone out on the outside and say that Prachi, your arrangements were really good and I would recommend it to my next team event. I think that keeps me going. Because there have been cases where I have taken the burn on myself so that at least the event should go through. I think there are multiple chances, multiple cases in that scenario.
So for me, I'll say when I was working at my earlier organization, I never felt a sense of fulfillment with respect to what I was doing. I always felt that, okay, or maybe it was I was not at the right role, or maybe I was not qualified enough that time to get those kind of roles. But after a certain initial period when I loved doing what I was doing, I started feeling a void, right? And that void led me to pursue my MBA, right? And as I said earlier, that I really wanted to work for a startup immediately after my MBA, but for some reasons it didn't happen, and never thought that I would start up alone because I've always been talking to people about things, or maybe I thought that okay, maybe not alone, I need some helping hand. So passion is something, passionate about what you're doing, and that every Monday morning when I still remember when I was in Gurgaon, I would say, oh, it's again Monday. Now I don't say that. Trust me, for the last 5 years I've not done that. And one thing is I go back to my team and say, guys, I feel that we will not get a second opportunity to do what we are doing right now. Right, with respect to, and for every division, for example, I tell my HR person always that the kind of things we are doing from scratch, right, setting up the policies, setting up the people skill set, setting up everything from the scratch for the first time, I don't think that I will do that again. Right? So that's something which keeps me ticking. Okay, now I've done this, I should probably go and start doing something else and let my team handle that. Right? Let them get that sense of fulfillment. It should not happen that they start feeling that void. So if I keep pushing upwards, keep doing newer things which excites me, then so it will be for my team as well. Right? So I think that's the answer.
I would like to add what I just said. One more thing that keeps me going is the opportunity to travel a lot, right? So, I mean, while if I would have been with any of the jobs, IT jobs, any sort of job, I'm sure I would not have had so many vacations that would be paid as well. So, this is best part. So, now I can safely say wherever I'm going to work. No one is stopping me.
That way, I should probably open a food startup. I'm a foodie. Possibly a sweet one or whatever.
In fact, that is actually helped to many of our employees to come back to site because for them, just like who's into travel, we say that this is one of the incentives we give them, right? Okay, if you do this much work, we help you to travel. And so this is also one of the incentives that keep the people.
So I'll try to start as the next day.
So you do the target, you achieve a target, your 2 days, 1 night Thailand history on the house. In a lighter note, I mean, what keeps you going is, I mean, you've heard of the Pepsi catchphrase, they're very good marketing. So the catchphrase, "Ye dil maange more." So probably that is what, one single email from one customer saying you have done good work is good enough. Although I'm more a Coke fan, but Pepsi are very good at marketing. How do you define, as you've seen the growth rate, for example, from 5 employees to 50 employees and further above? How do you measure their KRAs? Do you keep a tab on their KRAs? We have those notorious QBRs. How do you define that?
So this is something which our team still complains about, that we are not very good at defining KPIs. But what we have done, and that was probably from the first year onwards, right? What we did is we said that okay, we should have a culture of regular reviews. So whoever it is, right, whether it's a finance guy or the tech guy, we will schedule one-on-one reviews with almost everyone, and we like to open up and say that okay, this is your opportunity to give us a reverse feedback as well, right? We have opened up that, and using that as a platform, I'll again say that maybe we're not very good with defining those KRAs. Yeah, we have an annual appraisal policy which we're still looking at, and we just had a meeting before yesterday that now we should relook at how things were doing, and while doing that I found into an article on HBR how things change when Deloitte gets something. So we're still debating on that. But then KRA is something we have an Excel sheet where people fill in their all the details, but we believe in regular one-on-one reviews with the team so that those feedbacks can be given immediately. And one thing what I've realized is, which I've learned during this process, as very bad at receiving feedback. Right? I personally was very bad at receiving feedback. I've learned that whoever it is, if you have someone who gives you honest feedback, you should go out and seek that feedback. That's an opportunity for you to learn your mistakes. Right? If you're close and if you're bad at receiving feedback, and I was pathetic. Trust me, and my partners would fight with me that day. And I now think that okay, they were all this way, they were right, I was wrong. And I've learned it hard way. And now whenever I sit across the table with any of my employees, I try to do the first thing that, hey guys, this is a constructive feedback session. I want you to take positively. There are two ways in which you can take this. Either you say that, okay, how dare this guy give me feedback like this? I'm unperfect, right? The second way is to look at it as, okay, feedback is coming in my way. This is my opportunity to fix up some of my weaknesses. And there have been, at least in the last 2 years, there have been scenarios where things were not going right for a couple of guys. We went back, one of my colleagues went back and did a feedback session. That person took it very negatively and his performance went down further. We figured that out. We scheduled an immediate one-on-one session after that, and we spent a lot of time with him. We spent almost 3-4 hours with him and said, okay, we want you to perform. We know that you have the potential, but there's something missing, right? And it's just 6 months of that guy. After that, this incident happened, and he's one of the top performers in this now. So, KRA thing is still working. That's work in progress.